everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Podshots with Bhawna. Well, before we actually draw curtains to 2025, let's have another interesting concluding episode of this year. And this episode is going to be very interesting because the guest whom I've invited is a seasoned leader from SaaS industry. So it's going to be a conversation not only about the market growth, but a conversation of mindshare growth. So allow me a moment till I bring him up onto the screen for all of us.
Coffee mug, I have one.
Okay, so guys, I'm so excited to have a great guest on my show, as I was mentioning to you earlier, a seasoned player in SaaS industry, someone who has built and scaled multi-billion business portfolios. I would say he's the one who has actually broken all the kinds of stereotypes in marketing and leadership. Someone who actually started from a background of a technologist to having reached to a level of picking up the most admired marketing award. He has not only built marketing funnels, but he has delivered 5x of the ROI from the marketing initiatives, not only once, twice, thrice, but 5 times in a straight row. So he has actually been so well recognized in this industry. He is on the leadership councils of NASCOM and IIT graduate, a strategist, a mentor to startup companies, as well as I would say the one who is recognized as one of those top 100 marketing leaders of Asia. I'm so excited. Please join me to welcome Mr. Sairam Prabhu. Hello, Mr. Sairam. Thank you so much and welcome to Podshots with Bhawna.
Thank you, Bhavna. You could just call me Sai through the conversation, and it's my pleasure to have you. Be part of the show. Just a couple of humble disclaimers. I've been part of fantastic organizations that have been multi-billion-dollar businesses. While I've not built them, I'm a professional who've been working for them. That's number one. Second thing is, yeah, thanks for acknowledging some of my achievements, which would have not been possible without the teams that I have and the organization's support. And then I heard you talking about IIT. Actually, I'm a grad from IIM Calicut, and I do work with many of the leading institutions in the capacity of an external well-wisher for academic welfare. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My apologies for
that's fine.
wrongly
No, that's
stating.
fine. That's fine.
Okay, so just to quickly let you know about the format of the show. So it's a bite-sized program. So that's the reason it's called Podshots. So it's an under 15 minutes podcast. So where I sit across with leaders like you. So where we try to distill the wisdom in 15-20 minutes. And towards the end, we have 1 minute of informal rapid fire question to know you a little more beyond than the professional person what you are. So I hope you are okay.
Sure.
Then we can. Okay.
Yeah. It looks like this is the T20 version of a podcast, and I love it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started. So as I was mentioning, and a little bit what I know you in person as well as being part of some of the marketing congresses.
Yes.
So you started as your career from the products and platforms. So technology comes in your DNA. So how do you think that has helped you to actually evolve into the level what you are here into the today's world of CMO?
Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? So the strong tech background that I have helps me because I'm in the business of enterprise tech marketing, which is all about B2B software, both products and IT services. And now, of course, a lot of new age AI infused tech services, just service as a software. So the foundational engineering DNA and the tech background helps you distill the nuances of complex enterprise technology, and that allows you to work with a cross-functional set of leaders inside an organization. And since predominantly the messaging is tailored for enterprise tech companies, the tech foundation is the biggest distinguishing differentiating factor And also the last but not the least, it's also about how do you apply a great layer of technology, whether it is AI, whether it is data, whether it is analytics, to take efficiencies to scale. I think that's the biggest differentiating factor. So I think that's my biggest strength, and it has helped me uh, very much. Yeah.
No, I think I completely agree, because this kind of combination is very rare, because having the technology background
Sure.
definitely adds as
Yeah.
an asset to a person, and I'm sure the organizations and the people whom we are working with definitely must be getting benefited out of it. So you have actually been a well recognized marketing leader for reasons behind the same, and one of that has been that you have not only just building the marketing funnels, but you have actually been delivering um, you know 5x types of
Yeah.
ROIs from the
Yeah.
marketing driven
Yeah.
initiatives.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
do you think are those some non negotiable kind of principles which you have always worked through behind this the growth engine which you have generated in marketing?
Yeah, I think see, the foundational thinking has always been marketing should be growth centric, and probably it's the most misunderstood function when it sort of uh, influences to deliver growth, right? I think the biggest aspect is to deliver substantially well qualified pipeline, and that can happen through a variety of interventions that marketing strategically can enable. So the thinking has always been how do we as a team, sort of deliver a multiple that is significantly higher to the cost that we incur, right? So I think that's where the three layers of applying technology, understanding the fact that Mindshare definitely creates wallet share, and of course, looking at the most optimized MarTech stack, right?
Right.
So whether it is, you call it AI infused or not, the technology that marketing today has at disposal makes it a tremendous asset for marketing to create multiple touch points and also look at various aspects of attribution and measurement. That has to be the true DNA of a business marketer. Measure what you do and do what you measure. I think that's the important aspect. Without that, I don't think today's CMO's job is worth it. So a CMO's job today is pretty interesting if you can substantiate, define this narrative, and sort of work with both the CEO's organization and the CFO's organization to deliver a value that sort of naturally creates a stirring impact in terms of a dollar value that we take it into the table, right? So that's been the thinking. And it's just not about 5 times or 5x, it's about multiple times than that. But most important is the DNA that you carry, that you can't just be burning dollars, but you have to create a multiple ripple effect of that. And whether it is 5x or sometimes it's about 7 times that we've delivered. So it's an integrated omni-channel marketing strategy, intelligent budgets that you choose, great deal of tech that you apply, and have a sense of how does it make to sell and co-create that engine so that marketing becomes the most dependable strategic arm for the company's revenue growth.
Yeah, I think coming from the marketing background, I cannot agree more than that, because marketing is no more that cost center. So we are
Yeah.
the revenue generators for the organization, and with
Right.
this kind of the very structured formula, what you are sharing, obviously, it. Measuring what you deliver and deliver what you actually, so that really makes a lot of impact, and
Yeah.
that's probably is one reason that marketing has got that seat on the strategic table. So
Yes.
I think that's very important. So now coming to, since you come from the SaaS industry predominantly in your career, so let's talk a little about what is the brand positioning in this particular industry, because like any other industry, there is no dearth of competition, and this is one industry where it's, I would say, it is overcrowded by the players. So where the positioning actually makes a lot of impact in that getting the early win or early entry in the market. So according to you, what is that most misunderstood kind of a notion between about the brand positioning or the brand proposition in the SaaS industry?
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's just not only SaaS industry, right? So if you look at my experience, it transcends between first generation IT services, then of course, classical software as a service and platform as a service paradigm of products and platforms, and now the new SaaS, right? Service as a software, which is redefining what we call the human plus, agent-led delivery in terms of IT services landscape. What is constant in all of these three waves in general, the seminal principle of marketing is to position a clutterless, confusionless, clarity driven messaging that creates truly differentiated value proposition. So particularly when you're aspiring to building challenger brands and taking them to exponential leadership, you ought to have a very differentiated sense of why someone should be considering your particular proposition as a brand. So the most misunderstood construct is branding is different from marketing. No, they are very, very intertwined. And particularly in the tech value proposition, there has to be a clear differentiation, whether it is a price warriorship, whether it is a technology leadership, or whether it is a product itself as a category, right? So as they say, sometimes product-led growth, that's another paradigm which actually helps create frictionless experiences, thereby helping customers, particularly in the enterprise tech SaaS sort of environments where someone ought to sort of stick to a particular platform because you've sort of positioned it so very compelling enough for them to try out, for them to explore, for them to indent and then purchase, right? So all of this together, if you see the nuances, is am I creating a clutterless brand value proposition? And then when you're sort of building them to enterprise scale in classical IT services or now software as a service, large services background, the brand also has to define a purpose for itself, which is beyond only the revenue beacon, right? A brand which is sustainable, a brand which is purpose led, always creates that stirring differentiation for a customer so that you earn the respect. And once you earn the respect, so the summary is while I've led marketing, one thing that I've always practiced is me and my teams together will build always a respected brand. Respect can only be earned, right? It cannot be bought. And that's a foundational thinking that as a marketer I carry, and that goes to the ethos of your messaging and any other collateral that you put out, and including your defense, including your price proposition. So once you earn that respect, I think you sort of move through very fast. But earning that first iota of respect is very difficult, and once you earn it, you have to guard it.
Yeah, very well summed up. I think this is a great wisdom what you are sharing. So now just coming to something which is a very hot topic, which is AI. So I think we all are some way or the other beneficiaries also of AI, and there is no industry which remains untouched with that. But beyond that, those fancy dashboards or the hype which has been created, what is your perspective that how is actually AI going to be a transformational agent in B2B industry? And how are you practicing it in your area?
Yeah, I think we've been fairly conversant with application of AI, AI infused marketing, AI led marketing. Agentic is here, agentic is real, but there are two, three aspects, right? So one, we all understand. First of all, artificial intelligence, in my opinion, is true when it is truly augmentative. It is never a replacing technology for human narrative, particularly in the context of marketing. The narrative still lies with the marketer, but what technology does is to allow you to multiply things and deliver things at scale. Hyper personalized, communication is possible today. But there are certain very interesting use cases. The conventional use cases of content, imagery, images, creative juices that can be supplemented with AI interventions are well written. But for example, we worked on use cases where we developed small language model of our own, which can actually create, let's say you want to create a brand value statement, a positioning statement. You can actually apply 7 to 8 parameters of sentiment, consumer preferences, demographics, feed them all into an AI engine, and it can actually throw out interesting propositions, which we have actually done. And it can go and understand various branding frameworks, ingest all of that. This is true live use case I'm talking about, which otherwise you would have gone to a large agency, taken 6 months to craft all of that. So that's a very interesting AI-led use case, right? And then the next wave of agentic engine optimization, the AEO, or the generative engine optimization that we call, I think is nothing but how the discoverability of whether an enterprise brand or a consumer brand, doesn't matter. The discoverability from AI engine standpoint has to be relooked at. Today, I think there is a significant statistic where organic traffic is actually coming down, but AI-led referral traffic is going up. So what
Correct.
am I today? What am I today when someone queries me on a chat GPT or a Claude or a Gemini is more important, and for which the content has to be re-avatared. That's the word. And then we are living in what I call the perplexification of modern day enterprise stack, right? Which means that snackable content, FAQs, guidelines, how do I get ingested into those LLM engines? Because that's where the next gen customers or even the new customers who are getting used to that are querying about a particular company or a brand. So I think these two make AI-led marketing a fascinating study. But as I said, I'm an eternal optimist, and that's where the technology background definitely helps. Today is possibly the best time for a marketer because we can really do wonders provided you leverage this really once in a generation technology, which is truly available for everyone to use, and it's very easy to use. The Copilot is a click of a thing. I think there are so many interesting use cases you could try out.
Yeah, I think very perfectly pointed out. It's an era where we cannot deny the usage of AI in any format, but it's just that how much we can leverage it to the
Yeah.
maximum advantage. It's truly the time
And
the
that
sky
it
is
needs
the
to be
limit.
coming from the top. I think you have to be
Correct.
hands-on. You sort of, there is no point in being paranoid about it,
Yes.
but there is always a caution, optimism to look at how this technology can be a force multiplier.
Yeah. Yeah, because most of the time people, as you rightly said, one is that, that risk of, getting replaced, or, that whether you call it being paranoid or being apprehensive, I think that is definitely an area uh, which is a concern. I wouldn't say it's not, but I think it's just that how you actually evolve around with this technology and leverage it to your best is something which, as a marketer, it can be the best time, and if you are not living with the time, you will be left behind in the bandwagon. So
That's
as
right.
rightly mentioned.
That's right.
Okay, so coming to the last section of this core grid is that, you have, led the teams from, few hundreds to few thousands. So how do you see that change in your, career or personality or behavior from that operational to that stewardship kind of a role? So how do you see that
Sure.
journey?
Yeah, as I said, like I've been part of companies which got scaled really from very very lesser to multi-thousand sort of size, while marketing teams have also scaled. What has not changed in this is the curiosity that the marketer should have, and the agility that a marketing team should have. So when you look at it, I've always felt that while marketing is a fantastic art, it's also a great science. So we sort of apply the principles of agile from an engineering construct that we derive to how you derive and do marketing. The other thing that you do is to fail fast, learn fast, do fast, and deliver fast. I think that's a cornerstone as you scale up. You should never lose that stuff. So that will sort of allow. The third and the most important thing is to invest in talent that can scale. So, for example, when we were a $5 million or a $10 million organization, we thought about building a marketing organization that can elastically scale the company's brand to a $100 million organization. When we reached $100 million organization, we thought, how can we actually build teams that can scale up on thought process to $500 million, if not a billion, and so on and so forth. So when you do that, automatically you sort of investing in pillars that are foundationally very strong and that can scale. And marketing, in my personal opinion, has to be not just one, but two, three, four times ahead of an organization's innovation curve, so that you sort of position it well differentiated and sort of create a very distinguishing discoverability for the brand so that people become curious to know more about you. So these were some of the principles that helped through the journeys of scale that we saw, and different scales of growth becomes different growth hacks. So you need to be prepared to sort of unlock that. I know it's a fireside sort of a question, but I gave a long answer to that.
No, I think uh, these kind of things definitely deserve a long answer because you have lived through all this. So I think
Sure.
that really matters. So this brings us to end of the core section. So now it's time for a 1 minute of quirky, fun, informal, rapid fire.
Sure.
So if you're okay, so I'll just put the timer on. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So brand positioning in one word for you. Is it art, science, or is it a war?
Uh, it's a war because art and science get to fight each other.
Okay. Okay. So given a chance that you can only keep one, whether it is an AI dashboard or a deep conversation with the customer.
Deep conversation with the customer anytime.
Okay. So what's your favorite part of the marketing? Is it storytelling or is it system thinking?
It's storytelling, a thoughtful storytelling. You can't tell a story without thinking about it.
Right. Okay. If ROI from marketing was kind of a food, what would it be? Would it be a Hyderabadi biryani, which is layered, or would it be a filter coffee, which is an instant kick?
I love filter coffee, but that
Okay.
gives a kick for the entire day. It's a filter coffee for me.
Okay. Okay. So if you were not a marketing leader, what would Sai would have been? A product head, a VC, or actually a academician, a professor?
I always wanted to be a civil servant. I wanted to be an IAS officer, which I still feel I should have been doing.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. No. Okay. The last one. What is your power hour? Is it the early morning or the late night?
I'm an early morning guy.
Okay, great. So it was a wonderful conversation, Sasai. I think you have really poured out your decades of experience in this 15 minutes. I'm sure the audience is definitely going to uh, get a lot of insights from this and get benefited out of it. And thank you so much once again for coming over this show. And I really wish you lots of success for not only the coming year 2026, but many, many more years to come here from.
Thank you for having me on the show and wish you a great 2026 and lots of success. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think this was a brilliant conversation with a seasoned leader who really ensured that he really poured out all his decades of experience in this short format. And I'm sure there was a lot of takeaway for all of us, whether you are a founder, whether you are already a marketing leader, whether you are into product or whether into platforms, or for that matter, from any industry. This was a masterclass to know that how a new age marketing leadership truly looks like. So this was a wrap for today's episode and wrap for this year of Podshots with Bhawna. Till we meet next year with a new set of new guest list, new great leaders from the industry. Till then, have a wonderful closure to this year and a wonderful, great, positive kickstart to 2026. Till we meet next year, stay tuned, stay curious, stay healthy, take good care of yourself and your loved ones. See you next year, same channel, same time with yet another episode of Podshots with Bhawna. Till then, signing off. Bye bye. See you.